our open session on June 17th, the executive session on June 17th, and then the meetings on the 24th as well.
Motion.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Oh,
That was
your
you.
motion.
Who was second?
Second.
But again,
Thank you.
any questions on the minutes? No questions? Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Miss Betty?
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes to 17, abstain from 24.
Noted. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, abstain June 24th, closed session.
Noted. Ms. Patty Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky?
I will abstain on the 24th meetings and yes, 17th.
Noted. Did I call you Crystal? Okay, say, thank you. All right, I'm done.
Missed me.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I know I missed
Okay.
somebody.
Still
Mr.
waiting for you to
Dalio.
finish. Yes.
Thank you. All right. Ready. All right.
You wanna
Little
gather
flustered
yourself a
there.
little bit?
I'm ready.
Okay. Mrs. Potato Head, parts and pieces fell off. Raise your
Yeah,
hand.
my
raise your
my
nose.
head's gone. Yeah.
Okay, very good, Mrs. Potato Head. Reports. Student represent Maximus. Look at you jumping right in, friend. Well, how are you? Who are you? What are you doing in that chair?
So hello, my name is Maximus Ramos. I'm the upcoming senior class president for the Pinelands. In the school, I'm both in athletics and extracurricular clubs. The clubs I'm involved in Interact is one of the biggest ones. I've helped out at a few math contests. I partake in one of the drama productions, helping them out as a background, and then also setting up the sets. Athletics, I'm on the boys soccer team, winter track, and the boys volleyball team in the springtime as well. So I'm pretty enveloped within a lot of programs in the school, a lot of people. I'm very friendly with kids among all the grades and know them pretty well. And I'm very excited and honored to be here to sit with all of you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome. There's nothing to report, I guess.
There's not.
I would imagine there's nothing. Okay. So, listen. Welcome, Max. We did. Hey, Doc. What's up? It's your turn.
All right, I just have a few things. Summer projects are going very well. We will be having the pavement installed at the board office probably early next week. They started working on it today. Once that's done, we get a CO and we can move in. The cleaning is going very well with Mr. Rocheski and his crew. They're ahead of schedule. They're working very hard to get our schools ready for opening. And the administrative team has been meeting often, getting through many agenda items and planning for the upcoming school year. Just a reminder, the 29th of July at 5:30, there is a very brief Zoom board meeting to approve, hopefully, a couple items that we want to get done for hiring and things like that. We want to have that special meeting. August 7th at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, we have a training with Mr. Donio at 11, and then at 1 o'clock is our board retreat. If you have not responded, if you can make that or not, please let Amanda know. And then August 19th at 5:30 is our regular meeting for August. Thank you to the board committee that were on negotiations, the administration that took place with that, Mel and his team as well, for working on negotiations. We have signed off on both sides on a settlement, and we're waiting now to ratify that by a vote of the PEA. Paper copies of the agenda, you'll see some in the back. They are going to be obsolete soon. We're trying to go completely paperless to be a green school. We're going to be heading in that direction. So We will have the link for the members of the public, and you will be able to see the agenda on both screens that are out in the audience. So we're working on doing that. So we will not have paper copies in the upcoming meetings, just to give a heads up on that. I do want to address some of the questions that were asked about the agenda. Ms. Johnson had sent some questions in. I'm going to address those briefly, and then if you have follow-up questions when we get to those items, you're welcome to ask them. Ms. Johnson asked about how many students are out of district placement and the cost of that. So right now, we have 9 out-of-district placements. She further asked about why we have them out of district if we can't serve them here. And that's a good question, especially for a new board member. We do try to keep the students in-house as much as we can. That is the least restrictive environment. However, in some cases, it's out of our hands. For example, we have 3 that are placed from DCP&P. So they are placed with an alternate family member or something like that, or they're placed in a facility by them. So we don't really have a say in that regard. We had a student that came in recently that is an out of district placement. So we can reassess that at some point, but right now they're placed out of district. We have 2 parents that residentially place their children in a facility, whether it be medical, mental health. And then we do have 2 that are placed in facilities for mental health reasons. So really, you're right, this is the least restrictive environment. We try to service them here. We do have great programs. Our autism program is great. Our BD program is great. But in some cases, it just isn't working for safety reasons, mental health, or the parent may want to go in a different direction.
Okay.
We do have, on the flip side, 3 students that come from out of district to us. And
For
we bring
choice.
in, not choice,
Oh, okay,
that's
something
different.
different.
We do have choice seats, and that is, we do make some tuition on that. But these are students that, for example, one was at Southern and they couldn't service them here, so we have that student.
Okay.
So that brings in about $200,000 a year.
Okay.
So it does offset some of the cost of the other ones.
Okay.
But I hope that answers your question.
It did,
And
thank
then you asked about Jen Levin's on the agenda, replacing Miss Elwood. She's not.
Okay.
You'll see that she is being hired as a supervisor for special education and mostly funded through a grant.
Okay.
One of my grants that I wrote, it's one of the, I wouldn't say deficiencies, one of the areas of focus is special ed at the high school. So I wrote her into that grant for special education.
Okay.
Now, when the grant goes away in a year from now, that would be up to the board and, us to have a discussion whether we still need that position, can we fund it? But if not, it's grant funded, it would go away.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have. Oh, wait, I have one more thing. I would like to congratulate Miss Dr. Fresca, who successfully defended her dissertation recently, and we're super proud of all the hard work she put into that, and the work that she did is amazing. She's going to be trying to get published on some of her work that she did with AP, and we're just so proud of her, and we're going to officially celebrate when we have our retreat with the cake, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew the good news.
That's great.
All right, back to you.
Okay. Number 5, presentations, NJGPA results, Karen Kenny.
Thank you.
GPA, sure we can.
You're not gonna wait. You have
That's
to clip your
understated.
neck there.
Good evening, everyone. Presenting tonight our annual NJGPA results. And this is not working. No. Thanks. So the NJGPA is an assessment that's administered to all juniors, and it's English and mathematics, and it determines if they're graduation ready. This is the second year of its existence as far as being a graduation requirement. It sort of came about before the pandemic, and then they kind of halted it, and then they brought it back on the table. And Maximus is one of our fine juniors that took the test as well. So let's take a look at some of our information. Do I need to just tell you to keep switching? Okay, thanks. So the 3 areas that earn a high school diploma for a graduation assessment is to take the ELA and the math NJGPA and pass it. If you do not pass it, you can retake it, or you can meet a designated cut score from a menu of substitute competency tests, such as an AccuPlace or a PSAT, SAT. And finally, you can complete a portfolio appeal. I'm proud to tell you that in the class of 2024, all of our students have met their graduation assessment requirements, And we're now going to present the 2025 assessment status right now and what we're doing. Next slide. So in the area of English and mathematics, you'll see that in the graduation ready is the far left. We have an increase from the previous year of 4.4% of the amount of our students that were graduation ready on the NJGPA. And then when you see the math, we have a 2.1% graduation ready. And I just want to point out, if you look at this, it's from everyone in the state, gives you the state average. And if you can see that the math assessment for the state, 45.3% were not graduation assessment ready. So you can see how difficult that test is. In our class that's doing this, no, you can move forward. You can see how many people in our class that took the test was 261 students. Of them, you'll see that 51 of them had an IEP and 16 of them had a 504. So 67 out of 261 that took this assessment have some type of diagnosis or document saying I have an IEP or a 504. When you see something blacked out, it's because the subgroup has to be more than 10 in order to present that information so that you're protecting confidentiality of a student. So they have to have a subgroup of 10 to say, like, these are the facts for this area. So this slide here, you can see, is for English Language Arts, and we're very proud of our scores. They're doing really great, and as I said, we have an increase. Next slide shows our math, and yes, we have an increase in our math, but you can see across the state, it's a challenging subject, and we've been working hard on making adjustments for that. Next slide. So the interventions that we're doing, so we cohort all the current juniors. Once we got the results, we cohort them based on this information. There have been some revisions to the math curriculum, and this year we created a 2-year Algebra 1 course that was implemented this school year. So in the next couple years, we're going to see some changes with really reinforcing the Algebra 1 skills. Next year, we'll continue our extended day learning for all students, and we always have additional opportunities for the students to meet the graduation pathways. Next slide. And this is really the best slide. So we have 261 students. I mentioned we have 51 with an IEP. We have 16 with 504s. However, based on this year, we also gave them the PSATs, and we had some of the students participate in the AccuPlacer. So out of all the test results, we're down to 43 ELA students that need to meet this requirement. That means the rest of them pass something, and 86 math students to meet the assessment requirement. And 38 of the 86 math are for both subjects. So we're in great shape right now, entering our senior year of getting them ready. Last year, we were super successful. We actually had 91 students pass their portfolio for the class of 2024. So I have no doubt that we will be past this information as next year, and everyone will be where they need to be. So we're excited about the results. As always, there's always room for improvement, but as you can see that we are moving in that direction, and more importantly, that our students are taking the PSATs as a sophomore and junior, and they also have the AccuPlacer opportunities, and that's given them the opportunity to meet the graduation assessment. All right, does anyone have any questions?
What do you have to get on the PSAT for it to count?
A 420 in the subject
Total?
area.
Or just each?
Each subject area, 420.
Is it still 1,200? I forget what it was.
It's 6, there's 3 sections, but the ones they're specifically going after is the math and the English and saying a 420.
And what's the most you can get on each of those sections?
And 800 in each section.
Okay, thank you.
Jared, looking at the graphs, the data, the math just kind of sticks out there. It looks painfully low. So one of my questions is, when you're basing it to the state, what school districts? Is it just a blanket across the board school districts?
Right, so we talk about our district factor group, but unfortunately, we don't have access to those records yet, not for like another year. Can we say, how did we do compared to other schools? But I'm really confident that we're always in the top of our district factor group because our students really do take the test seriously.
We're still using our similar factor groups. It's not.
Right, but we don't get the other schools' results until they push out like the school performance report card.
Okay.
So there's like a delay in us getting that information so that we can compare.
Was the mathematic being so low? Is that still COVID?
I definitely think it is. We've talked to the math teachers, and so many students were not really doing math They were using their phone, they were looking up all the answers instead of really just pencil and paper and figure this out, because the part of the NJGPA, you have no access to a calculator.
Good.
So when you're going back to the old skill, here's your pencil and piece of paper, that definitely was a shock. I mean, I'm really proud of our students because they knew how important it was this year, and just seeing the increase, I was really proud of that. And it's based on algebra and geometry skills. So you may have someone that is a junior that is classified that's learning algebra as their junior year math, and they have to still take that test. And there's 51 students that could be possibly in that bracket.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Could I add something? quick?
Sure.
I'm a math teacher, and what I'm reading is that because English, you can skip a COVID year of English
Yeah.
and then come in and still learn everything you need to learn. You miss a year of math, and that's
So you're
statewide.
supporting it, that's, it's
Oh, absolutely.
definitely.
Well, yeah, well, that and phones, but.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember last year sitting horrified when you first presented the numbers.
I was that good?
Horrified.
I was that good?
Horrified. I think there was even a newspaper article
Yeah.
of, oh, these scores are low. And you stood there and you said that it was going to be okay. That the administrative team had all these programs, processes, plans in place, that you were going to make sure that any student that needed the help. And it's obviously, because you said class of 24,
They all graduated.
they were all, you did it. So thank you because I remember being horrified and worried that
Don't
what are we
worry.
gonna do? And you said we have a game plan. We're gonna help them as much as we can, and you did. So thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Just to piggyback off of the math,
Mhm.
what, do we know, like, what they're really struggling with, like, what concepts? And
Yes, so when they give us the test results, they will give us an overview of all the different standards and what areas that we can improve upon. So that algebra, we believe, is really a big area that we want to focus, and that's why just this year we already implemented a 2-year Algebra 1 program for select students. So those students will have 2 full years to really work and hone in on those skills.
And how long is a math class? Is that-
47 minutes in the high school, 47 minutes.
And is there any studies on seeing if we increase that by a little bit, or is there any, like, additional help, like? I
So
just
we
feel
have
like
a ma-
math is a continual issue with students, and it's not just our school, but
Right.
just across the board.
So we have a math intervention specialist in the high school, and we also have an intervention team on both sides that are working, junior high and high school. And they are doing some push and support in some of the classrooms and also doing some individual work. I have about 45 students this year that are in the high school that one day a week will be leaving their phys ed class and having some special intervention in that area to keep them up to speed. We also have to be very cognizant of our schedule because our vocational students, they are only here for 3 periods, and they have to have junior years English, math, and phys ed, and then they leave and go to vocational school. So we can't, they're required to take all 3 of those subjects. So that's one thing that we have to work on. So for example, we had a few vocational students, they senior year took an online PE so we can give them an additional math to support them in this process. And that's why we were so successful this year with them passing and getting the portfolio appeal. So we were excited about that. But there's a lot of variables with their schedule, but we are really excited about this one day a week of being pulled out in addition to their math class, because we do have the math teacher extra pushing into the math and then also doing the pull out. So I think that's going to make a big difference for the students. A lot of times they're embarrassed in the classroom, which I'm sure Lisa can tell you that, they don't want to be called on and like explain why they don't know how to do something. So that small group and one-on-one privately works well with high school students. They don't like really to be singled out.
Can I add something, Karen? Too?
Sure.
So next year, we're gonna have a win period in the junior high. So
What period? I'm sorry?
win, WIN. It's gonna be, and Thurber helped us with the name of it. It's what I need. So some students will have a study hall for that period, but other students will have a remediation. So they're gonna go to their WIN teacher for math, language arts, whatever the case is. So they're getting like a double dose. So we're gonna build those foundational skills in the junior high. So when they go to the high school, they have a little more of a foundation.
Yeah, I feel like focusing on junior high and like maybe every math, there's like
Yes.
refreshers or something that,
100%.
We have our STEAM teacher, we made some
with our personnel. And our esteemed is actually a certified math teacher who will be working with the majority of our seventh graders. So they'll get even more math, more application-based math, and that engineering kind of a mixed. But again, adding that math piece to the elective of STEAM. So we have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of wheels in motion, but there's some of the things right off the top of my head, we're working on it. Get
And-
them ready for the high school.
Sorry. And this didn't take into science, correct? That's the report card? I know there's one
Right, that's
report that
different,
does, like,
yes. So that's the
ELA
other thing, like,
science.
although there's a federal requirement for a science assessment, it is not a graduation requirement.
Okay.
So you can see how excited the students get when they have to take a test that they know doesn't count towards their graduation. Ask Max, I'm sure he was studying feverishly for it. And it's a science not based on the content of what you're currently taking. It's just a variety of science subjects, whether you're in chemistry or environmental or marine or biology. So that makes it even really fun for them in the classroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Karen. Moving into our work session. Any board forum?
No.
I'm talking to the board right now.
Oh, I mean, we don't have anything named yet.
Be random. Any new business? New business? Other than our legal training and retreat? Yeah, additional at this time, until we set some goals and do some goal setting in August. Is that right? Let's discuss
We'll
that
look at
on the
data and
19th.
set goals, yeah.
Any old business? Super. Number 7, residence forum on agenda items only. Board policy number 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a reasonable time limit of 3 minutes when commenting on agenda items. Anyone from the public on agenda items? Anyone from the public?
Going once.
Going twice. And my lovely assistant, third time. Residence forum is closed. Moving on to item 8, under instructional. I ask for a motion to approve instructional items 8A through 8E.
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Patty. Are there any questions on items 8A through 8E? Sense none? Miss, Amanda? A roll call vote.
Miss Betty,
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Miss Johnson,
Yes.
Miss Patty Martin,
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Ms. Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 9, personnel. I ask for motion to approve personnel items 9A through 9U.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on items 9A through 9U?
For a clarification, so approving Ms. Levens to be supervisor
Yeah.
of special ed, so we will have 2? I
Um,
just want to, it's just clarification. I was trying to.
It's a
word
yes
it
and no answer. We
Okay.
will have 2, however, Ms. Elwood has got her principal certification. So we're going to be changing her title, no change in salary, to director. And then we would have a director and a supervisor.
Okay.
But yes, as of right now, they'll both be supervisors.
Okay. And then I also had a question about the ESS, the Essential School Services contract. Am I in the right spot, or is that another section? I'm sorry.
That's
I think
the
it's a different,
that's
They're not in this section.
effective school solution.
Yes,
Yes.
it's at the next section.
I believe
I think
so.
I didn't write it down according to section, I'm sorry.
It's all right, you can do it now.
I
just
can answer
noted.
your question, Dave. What
Oh,
was
I
your
was just the
question?
funding for it, that's all.
That's my grant, my
That's the
other
grant,
grant that I
okay.
have. They're the one with the mental health experts we have now, and that's for the Twilight program. That's that grant.
Okay. And the other question was just about rescinding the appointment of the secretary, Bruckner.
She was going to take the position, had a life event and decided not to.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions on items 9A through 9U? I see none. Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Miss Betty,
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes, except for new hires.
hold on 1 second.
Sorry.
Okay, so just give me the letter and number.
D2, I'm gonna say no, I don't think we need another secretary.
So no to Nicole Luby.
Okay, is that it?
Yes,
Okay, noted.
shocker.
Miss Patty Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes, but I'm abstaining from D2.
noted. Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Item 10, Hibbs. I ask for a motion to approve HIB item 10A.
Motion.
Second.
Are there any questions on items?
Was that Patty or Betty Ann? They're starting all to sound alike. Who was the second? I'm sorry.
I did, Shay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Miss Betty,
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Miss Patty Martin,
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Ms. Zimmerman.
Yep.
Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky,
Yes.
motion carries.
Moving on to item, number 11, policies and procedures. I ask for a motion to approve the following policies and procedures. Item 11A.
Motion. Second.
Are there any questions?
This is the AI one.
This is the AI one.
How are we gonna enforce this one?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of ChatGPT. Do we have a plan on how we're gonna actually enforce this policy?
Cal, did you want to say something? There's some software programs that you can run through to see if it was AI generated, but it is difficult to do.
I think it's using it responsibly, and we've had some TV on it for the future, because we don't want to disregard the fact that it is a resource, but how do we use it, how do we put some, I guess you could say, boundaries around it, you know, when to use it, when not to use it, so we have some TV.
All
that
grade
we have to
levels?
work on.
All grade levels?
Yeah, that'd be the only thing with this one is we're gonna need to document some of the, how are we gonna enforce it and like, what are the boundaries for it?
If they have a research paper, they, you know, they use it, but then they say properly, and
Right.
that's the level of work that's gonna happen.
Like that's a great example, you have to cite it.
Yeah, yeah, you say, yeah, so they have to learn. And we also have turnitin.com that our students can turn in their paperwork, and then they'll tell you how much AI generated, so just using that also as a tool for the students to see how much their paper and getting them to really buy into the fact that it's going to be used, but use it limited, you know, on a limited basis.
Anything further? Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Miss Betty,
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Miss Patty Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky,
Yes.
motion carries.
Item 12, operations. I ask for a motion to approve the following operations items 12A through 12F.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? No questions? Amanda? Roll call vote, please.
Miss Betty,
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Miss Johnson,
Yeah.
Miss Patty Martin,
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Miss Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mr. Dalio,
Yep.
Mr. Bonnicky,
Yes.
motion carries.
Item 13, report of the board secretary, business administrator.
Did I mess up? I did your cheat sheet, sorry. 14 is, should just be,
I'm not at
We're at
14.
we were at
13.
13.
So
13.
We did 13.
No, we
No,
don't.
no,
We just
no, we're at
Oh
12.
my goodness. I
items
totally
12A
just
through
messed that up. Hold
12F
on.
do not equal 13.
can
My
always
pots
we
and
can
my
always watch it
pieces are
back again.
falling about.
We can watch.
Because I'm secretary.
Breathe.
Joe,
Okay,
eyes are hot.
all right.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so go ahead. I'll just flip
We'll
flop
watch
them.
it back.
It's all good. Go ahead. I'm ready.
I'm just reserving my flip-flop joke, so I will keep that to myself and giggle inside. Yes, ponder that. So, item 13. A report of the board secretary and business administrator. I ask for a motion to approve the report of the board secretary and business administrator items 13A through 13O.
Motion.
Second.
Are there any questions on items 13A through 13O? There being none, Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Miss Betty,
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Miss Johnson,
Yes.
Miss Patty Martin,
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Ms. Zimmerman,
Yes.
Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky,
Yes.
motion carries.
Item 14. Informational items. I won't stop. Monthly attendance report. None. In July. Discipline, security drills, standard. Oh, item 15. Residents forum on general topics. Board policy number 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a reasonable time limit of 3 minutes when commenting on any topic. Anyone from the floor on any topic? My assistant?
Going once,
Anyone else? who
going
wants to speak?
twice.
There you go.
Sold.
Want to stay
No
here?
comments.
I think it does.
think
It
you're
really
gonna
wants to
drag
drag
this
it
meeting out.
Really.
Thank you.
I'm
Stephanie.
agreeing to a lot of things, so you should really kind of wrap it up before I start second guessing myself.
I wanted to talk about
He
your
just
feelings.
said it was 10 minutes.
All right.
Come on, Will knows.
All right,
Will's like, this is the
residents forum.
easiest meeting.
Let's keep this ball rolling.
Oh,
Good thing there, Bonnicky. Let's go.
Residents forum is closed. Board forum. Now listen, in one fell swoop, we welcome the Max. Max has nothing to report. He says thank you for being here and he's honored. Anything else you want?
No, I
So
yeah,
in
that's
this portion, we give our little summary of all the accolades that are, what am I doing?
I don't
I'm
know.
throwing the meeting out, but yes. So that's-
You got some
And
big shoes to
anything,
fill.
anything from anyone?
Those last presidents, you got big shoes.
We normally go in order or in
Well,
a.
I'll say something.
Yes.
Welcome aboard. I appreciate you coming. I didn't expect to see you till September, so it's very
Yes.
nice to see you
Yes.
here in
Welcome
July.
back. Very happy you're here.
I got
It's
lost a
not
little
normally
bit.
this crazy,
Yeah.
It's not-
but welcome aboard and we really appreciate you taking your time out. to be
Thank
here.
you.
I'd like to congratulate
Thank you.
Dr. Frasco. I have to get used to saying that, but congratulations.
Dr. Frasco, we gotta get used to that.
Yeah, a lot of hard work.
That's no Dr. Pepper.
And I'd like to, I'm over here picking up kids and dropping off kids at school, and I'm amazed at how much is going on in the month of July. It's usually a ghost town around here. It looks like school is in session. There are so many cars in the parking lot and coming and going, which is a great thing. It truly is. It means we're
active in the community and we're doing a lot of things, and I like to see that. And that's all I got to say. Have a nice rest of your July.
I'd like to say two things really quick. Just, I really like the math initiatives. I really think that that's exactly where you have to hit it, coming up the seventh grade throughout for next. We're already seeing it. I think we'll see more. And Project Graduation blew me out of the water. That was really well done, and I don't know how the hell y'all put that together.
Well,
By getting the buses donated and having the kids go.
so it was not donated. We had, they did a lot of fundraising. The buses were. We kicked in
The
some
buses,
money.
no, I meant,
Yes.
but how did you get them to do that? They won't do anything. No, wait.
Yeah.
Durham is great.
Yeah,
We
they
do have a
really are.
great
They're
relationship with
amazing.
Just
Durham.
the whole thing was, I heard
We had a
kids
great turnout.
carrying on
Yeah.
about how amazing it was.
We had a great
I wanna
turnout, and
give a
that's what we
shade out
want.
there.
We don't want to charge the kids anything. We want them to come. They said
That's where
the
they
biggest
should be.
turnout they had in years, so we're gonna try to continue it, but I do want to kind of go down there and try to get the price down a little bit.
Well, shout out, well done.
That was all the advisors and everyone said they did a great job.
And Max, welcome.
Thank you.
So I did kind of jump around because I thought you wanted to expedite the finish. Anything else? Matthew, goodbye. Thank you. I know you're going elsewhere, but thank you for the
No.
time.
I mean, I might be here next board meeting, depending on how things shake out, so it might not be me for the next.
He's helping us find his replacement.
All right, good. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for paying me to help you guys. You get food on the table, benefits coming in, so.
Okay, so with that, I ask for a motion to.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You're out of here. Oh, my.